Is it going? Yep. Okay. Welcome to the Habits of Health call. I'm Amber Smithson. This is my husband, Jared Smithson, and we are certified health coaches with Take Shape for Life and loving life today. Are you loving life today?
Absolutely. Good day to be alive.
That's right. That's right. Living the dream.
Weather's cooling down here in Utah.
Yes, I love fall. So the first thing I want to do is welcome everybody on. I already know, I saw in the chat that a few people, this is their very first day with Take Shape for Life on their weight loss journey, sounded like, very first day. So on this call, you'll hear from, you may hear tips and tricks for the weight loss phase. You may hear things that apply more to your optimal health long-term phase after weight loss. You may hear from clients and coaches and everybody, or sometimes people who haven't even joined Take Shape for Life yet. They're maybe just checking this out. So no matter who you are, welcome to the call. We're so happy to have you. And we're excited today to talk about inflammation. And this is one of my very favorite subjects. And I remember, here, I'm grabbing my book here, moving my stuff on my desk. I remember the very first time that I picked up Dr. A's Habits of Health book and reading it, but I especially remember when I got to chapter 19, and that's where Dr. A talks about inflammation, and I just felt like this applies to me personally so much that it was just crazy. And I love learning about nutrition and health and just anything that can really help us improve our lives. So before we get going into the topic too much, I want to bring on my friend, Lance Bradshaw. Lance, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great.
So, Lance, I would love, before we get into our topic, I would just love if you would share with us your personal story with Take Shape for Life, just to kind of give everybody a little bit of inspiration, and because I think you're super inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Amber. So I'm actually really excited to learn about this topic myself, because I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, that picture on the left, I was a walking ball of inflammation. In 2012, I made the crazy decision to go back to school, and for the next 3 years, I really neglected my own health and ballooned up to the heaviest I'd been in my entire life. And running from work to school to home, I was shoving whatever fast food or whatever I could find, down in a short amount of time as possible, and really just completely my health went off really into the deep end. And for the next 3 years, it was a mess. And so it wasn't until I graduated that my sister approached me and talked to me about this program. And I really wasn't until that point that I realized how much inflammation, how much extra weight, and really the poor habits that I had developed, over the course of the program that I was in. So once she approached me and talked to me about the program, it really opened my eyes to the importance of developing these daily habits of health. Was able to lose 35 pounds on the program, and now not only not carrying around that extra weight, but all that inflammation, the handfuls of pills that I had to take every day, all of that's gone, and I'm able to really focus on the things that matter most now. I'm starting to see the ripple effects across not only my own immediate family, but friends and others that are asking me about the program, and I'm able to help them identify sources of inflammation and unhealthy habits in their own lives. And it's been a great journey. I'm by no means at the end. I tell everyone I don't really have a before and after. It's a before and now, and let's see what the rest of my life holds. But I'm so excited to make the progress that I've been able to make, and I appreciate everyone that's supported me along the way.
That's awesome. I love that before and now. That shows the mindset of health, because we can look to the future, but you don't know what the future is going to hold. I mean, our lives throw crazy curveballs at us, and so my now is different than it was. I mean, I haven't gained any of my weight back. Lost my weight 7.5 years ago, have kept it off, but my journey is different now than it was even 3 or 4 years ago. Striving for new goals and things like that. So as far as my physical and my physical body health. So I love that. That really stood out to me. But we know Lance personally, and he's shown me pictures of all the pills that he got rid of. And so that's a big change in life, and you just feel a million times better.
Yep. As your body gets healthier, I mean, you don't always need that stuff. So of course, you know, results may vary. Everyone has their own personal journey. Check with your doctor, all that good stuff. So, but we sure appreciate you sharing your story, Lance. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about inflammation. So first, let's talk about acute inflammation. Do you want to cover this one, hon?
Yeah, I'm a pro on acute inflammation. I've had a lot of sprained ankles in my days playing basketball. No matter how much you wrap those ankles up before games and stuff, you always get a twist here and there. And anybody who's into a lot of physical activity, you're going to have those things. Even if you could step off a curb or go hiking or something like that. And acute inflammation is something like a sprained ankle. Where there's an injury and your system goes on high alert. It says, hey, let's attack this area with all of the blood cells and everything to get in there and fix the problem.
Yeah. Or even like, have you stayed up all through the night, like maybe studying in college or out, I don't know, TPing someone's house in high school. I don't incriminate myself there, but and you in the morning, like your throat hurts, you just have a sore throat, or you just like don't feel good, and that's another, like, it's that inflammation. Your body's going, okay, something happened, you didn't get enough sleep, or you rolled your ankle, and they're sending those white blood cells to attack the intruder. So whether it's a bacteria or virus, a parasite, or just like anything that's going wrong. So they're really they're our friends. Right? Yeah. This is a good thing because it attacks that area and says, okay, let's fix this problem, right?
Yep.
Okay, but our benevolent protectors have a dark side. So I asked some of my Facebook friends, I was like, okay, send me a picture of your kids dressed up as Star Wars evil characters, the dark side. And I got some good submissions here. I love the footy pajamas. You see the little footy pajamas under Darth Vader mask there? That's the best one. But so what's the dark side of our benevolent protectors?
So sometimes there's external factors and then there's internal factors that create inflammation in our bodies. And you'll see some of those things. But this, when inflammation happens in a chronic fashion, rather than from an acute situation, it's those molecules, those inflammatory molecules are trickled and dripped through your system in such small amounts that it doesn't put the system on high alert. So it creates what we call chronic inflammation rather than acute. And then your body isn't trying to heal itself. It doesn't heal itself the same way. So it just, it's a perpetual problem.
Yeah, so it's Dr. A in the book kind of calls it the silent enemy, because just everywhere in your body, it's sending those white blood cells to attack. And you don't really want them attacking things every single day. You don't want that constant chronic inflammation. So it's like if you're every night not getting enough sleep, every night you're staying up all night, or every night you are, or every day you're exposed to things like smoking, or we'll go over some other factors there, but it hurts innocent bystanders like your heart, your blood vessels, your brain, any of those blood-rich organs, because those white blood cells are just constantly all throughout your body. Like, have you ever felt super achy all the time or run down?
Story of my life before I started Take Shape for Life. I had many symptoms of chronic inflammation. I was a chronic snorer. I had chronic headaches and joint pain. And I thought that it was from getting older, and I was only 35, so that's not old. And now
I'm 36 now.
I know, and now I'm 42, and I mean, people, as they lose weight and they get healthier, we hear all the time, oh, I feel 20 years younger. Well, physically, you are 20 years younger because you took care of those problems that existed in your body, because of chronic inflammation is a huge source of that.
Like a civil war against yourself. Like, you don't want to have a civil war in your body, right? So before we go on, I want to bring on Kat Fuller, who's a certified health coach, one of our best friends. And just, Kat, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I was a college athlete. I played 2 sports in college, volleyball and softball, and I'm used to pain. I was a very competitive gymnast as a kid and went to, in 5th grade, if you talk about 5th grade, when I was learning the capitals, I was getting out of school at 1 o'clock to go to gymnastics until 6 p.m. every day. And I would come home and ice my legs and do my homework. And so I just kind of thought pain was part of life just growing up, being an athlete. And I just thought that was just life. And about 4 years ago, I just wanted to feel better and lose some weight. I had no idea what this would do for my inflammation in my life. But I've had 3 knee surgeries. The first one was about a little over 20 years ago. I'm aging myself. I was in college. And I've just kind of had to have my knees cleaned up. So right about the time I started the program, I had just gone to an orthopedic surgeon, and he said, your knees look like an 80-year-old's knees. You're going to need replacements. We'll just do cortisone shots as long as we can, just to prolong that. And I would get fluid drained every 6 months or so, and it was getting more frequent as I still play competitive volleyball. That's actually how I met Amber and Jared. So I went to the doctor and just kind of thought, well, this is my life. And then I started Take Shape for Life, and I continued to play volleyball, and a year went by, and I lost 35 pounds in a good amount of time. Transitioned to optimization, and a year went by, and I thought, I've been playing a lot of volleyball and I haven't had any shots. My knees aren't swollen. And it took me a little while to get into the books. And I started reading, and chapter 19 also stuck out to me. And I realized that I had been eating anti-inflammatory, and in a year I had changed how my whole body felt. I've learned so much about inflammation, and I can tell you there's times if I make choices where I'm not maybe eating as clean as I should, that I can feel the pain come back, and I have aches in my joints and my head. It's just amazing that this way of eating, this anti-inflammatory way of eating, is so critical. And even with our breath, we are expelling those, the bad hormones, the things that keep our bodies inflamed. So it's just amazing.
I love that, Kat. And, there's just something, like we said earlier, it's like when you start treating your body right, you're eating right, you're doing those things, following the habits of health that are laid out, it's amazing just how your body starts working better.
At 40, I feel way better than I did at 30.
That's awesome.
Yeah, our bodies are really their own doctors. If you treat it right, they will heal. They're designed, they're miraculous, incredible. But we take them out of, we kill our immune systems by our habits, and if we simply follow the program. And the thing I love about Take Shape for Life so much is it's principle based. Is when you hop on the 5 and 1 and you hop into that weight loss phase, you're learning the same things that you're going to live for the rest of your life. Simple principles. Yeah, you're going to increase your calories and things like that when you get into that optimization, but you're still living the same principles. So I always tell my clients, focus on those principles as you're losing the weight. And long term, you'll be able to live even better than you are right now.
I love that. Thanks for sharing your story, Kat. Super inspiring. I love it. Let's play volleyball. Let's play volleyball soon.
Yay, my volleyball friends.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about causes of chronic inflammation. So this one's pretty obvious, right? Like food. What you eat is such a huge part of your current health. Like just let that sit. What you eat is a huge part of your current health. So if you're fueling your body with processed foods and high calorie, high fat, high sugar diet, then what you're going to get out of that is inflammation, overweight, low energy, all that stuff.
Internal environment, visceral fat, the fat around the middle of your body, is horrible. It produces all kinds of crazy hormones and molecules that are released to the body, creating chronic infections. Lack of sleep, huge thing. Between these two sections, food and internal environment, that was my life prior to Take Shape for Life. And I felt horrible. I felt like an old man, and I'm glad that Dr. A released The Habits of Health in late 2008, because after we read it, we were sold on Take Shape for Life and started living that way, and haven't looked back.
Yeah, and to your point, Jared, everyone listening to this call, congratulations for really stepping up and being part of the community. And if you haven't picked your book up yet, it's okay. It's not too late. Pick it up. Maybe start in chapter 19 and kind of get some more details on what we're talking about here.
What I did to start? I just looked at the pictures.
You know what? Even if you did that, you get a lot out of the book. There's a lot of good pictures and charts and stuff.
I've read it all now, but I started with the pictures.
Yeah. Or even chronic infections. Like I have a brother, and I feel like every time I see him, they're putting drops in their kids' ears or giving them antibiotics, or, it's like, what's going on? What's going on in your body if there's chronic infections? You have to kind of think about, like, your body is an awesome machine, and it gives you clues and flags and, hey, there's something going on. Pay attention to me. And if we just cover it up with medication, it's not really resolving it. It's just covering it. Kind of like, talk about your acid reflux.
Oh, geez, acid reflux. I was those Costco tubs of Tums. I was going through one of those a month, plus some Prilosec, things like that. A little higher grade, but it was horrible. It ran my life. I would have to. She hated me because on my way home from work, before I went to the gym in the evening, I had to eat just the right thing so it didn't give me even worse acid reflux than I already had. Because then as soon as I started to exercise, it would bring those things up. So that was one of the biggest changes in my life. And it was probably about 10 days into the program where I was like, I woke up one morning and it was just a habit. I would pop my Tums, Prilosec, stuff like that, and I was about to put it in, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I don't have this. So, and I haven't had it since, because I haven't gone back to those ways of eating, and I'm not going to try.
But it's a red flag, right? Your body's going, hi, pay attention to me. I have acid, there's something wrong going on. And when we just eat those Tums and like cover it up, it's not really dealing with the problem. It's like if your kid spills something on the floor and you just like throw a towel on top of it, but you don't really clean it up. My brothers used to do that. I'm telling a lot of stories about my brothers tonight. I don't know. I have 3 brothers, the only girl. But you can't just like cover it up. Don't just mask it. Like you want to actually go, why do I have this acid reflux? What can I do to really address the problem, the underlying problem? Do I have fat around the middle? Am I eating right? Am I exercising? Am I getting sleep? Those types of things. And then your external environment. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, this is a big one. And you can't always control some of the external environment, but of course, smoking, not a habit of health. And Dr. Anderson always says, if you have that problem, then let's try to kick it at the same time. But allergens, radiation, UV rays, stress is a huge one. Stress is something that we can control. And I would encourage all of you out there, to talk to your coach more about the stress factor too, because that's something that the Take Shape for Life really helped me focus in on, and learned how to, stress isn't always bad, it's when the stress becomes distress. And my life was full of distress prior to really becoming a health coach and learning how to keep it just as a healthy form of stress.
Yeah, I agree. So I actually lost my PowerPoint right before this, so I had some more slides, but I'm just going to pick up the old book, and I want to give you guys some tips, and I'm going to call on Lance and Kat here maybe a little bit. Lance, guy's cute little baby. You can totally keep holding your baby, Lance. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. We're the family company. But just really some ways to lower that inflammation. So the first one's obvious. We've been talking about it. It's using Take Shape for Life, eating plans, like practicing those habits of health, and making sure that you're conscious. You know, I'm going to do a quick poll here, and just guess if you don't know. Let's see. Okay, launch poll. Here we go. Okay, so just click on your phone or on your computer. Which group of fats would be the best choice for an anti-inflammatory lifestyle? Let's just guess if you don't know.
We've got a lot of smart people.
The guesses are coming in. So far, we have 100% is guessing olive oil, almonds, avocado. So the three choices are butter, cheese, whole milk. Number 2 is margarine, shortening, or corn oil. And number 3 is olive oil, almonds, and avocado. Okay, I'll give you guys just another second. Yeah, Judy says, we've read the book. I love that.
I'm surprised that there's not even one joker in here.
I'm going to stop it before someone does now.
I know.
Okay, so end polling, and I'm going to go ahead and share the results. Okay, you guys are totally smart. Everybody chose the olive oil.
Wait, 103%? How's that even possible?
I don't even know. Hey, anything's possible in Take Shape for Life.
By the way, it's not possible to give 110%. You can only give 100%.
I don't know. There's under 10% in math. You can give 900%. I don't know.
Extra credit. I like it, Mike.
There you go. So it's true. So there's a lot of different things. So even within foods that you choose, some of the fats that are the best one. Let's see, I got my book. Like I said, I lost my PowerPoint 10 minutes before we started. So I threw that one together last minute. So I'm going old school right now. But anti-inflammatory fats, olive oil, canola oil, peanut oil, almonds, avocado, much better than like your hydrogenated and things like that. But other ways to also lower that inflammation in your body is stress reduction. So Kat or Lance, do either one of you want to give some of your favorite stress reduction tips? I'm going to go Kat.
I'll jump in if that's okay. Stop, challenge, choose. We talked about this right before the call because Amber, as she mentioned, lost her PowerPoint. And she's like, I was doing lots of breathing and stop, challenge, choose. And I thought, I am so grateful you taught me that, because anytime there's something that's stressful in my life, and I have 4 children, they're all boys, and there is stress in my life. Anytime I feel something, I can feel my blood pressure. I look at my Fitbit and my heart rate's going up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, something's going on. I stop and think about, why am I feeling this way? And then I challenge myself. Am I going to react like a crazy person that I feel it growing inside of me? Or am I going to take a couple deep breaths, assess the situation, and then make my choice? And then I choose, I'm not going to say I'm 100%. I wish I was, but there are so many more times in my life I just kind of go, you know what? There's nothing we can do about this. Let's just take a minute and breathe, and we'll be okay. And that works in every aspect of life. I mean, from choices to food choices to stress to when your kids do something bad, everything, it works.
I love that, Kat. That is so true. Yeah. So hopefully everyone gives me some grace on that PowerPoint. It turned out okay, but
it looks like people are.
Yeah.
They're saying don't worry about it.
Okay, good. But I had a whole other slide that gives some good tips on how to lower your inflammation. But really, it's like I said, it's everything that we teach in Take Shape for Life. I mean, sleep is a huge one. I know that if I don't get enough sleep, I can feel it the next day. And it's probably because I actually started getting better sleep. But in the old days, I just never did. So you felt the same way every day, so you don't notice it. But definitely getting enough sleep is a huge one. Some external environment ones.
One thing I wanted to add and emphasize that Kat said was talking about breathing. We live in a world of stress, and we live in a world of shallow breathers. Our breath is so superficial, and not to wax religious or anything like this, but I don't find it a coincidence that in the first chapters of the Bible, it talks so much about the breath of life. And when you engage, I've never been a singer. I've never been a musician or anything that's having to blow on an instrument, but I'm in a household of singers and instrument and musicians. And I've learned a great deal about breathing. And, breathing from the diaphragm down the stomach. And I always, forever, I was like, well, I don't want my stomach to move out and in. Like, I must be stretching out those abs, and I want those abs to be really tight and stuff. No, you want your stomach to fill up with air. That means you're breathing from your diaphragm rather than just your lungs. And when you take those really deep breaths, it engages your parasympathetic nervous system, which naturally, within a few seconds, will naturally release hormones into your body and chemicals in your body, restructure the way that or reignite the way your brain is reacting to things, and it will naturally calm you. So we do this with our children. Even our 9-year-old little girl, she can be a little
stressed
out sometimes.
Intense.
Intense, and I don't even want to know what the teenage years are going to be like with her. But
she's getting all out of her system.
She's getting out of her system right now.
That's what I tell myself.
But frequently, several times a week, we're like, okay, Tenley, we're going to take some deep breaths. And even with a 9-year-old little girl, within 30 seconds of taking deep breaths with her, and we just have her follow our breathing pattern. She calms down, she stops crying, she's got a new lease on life, and she's our happy little girl again. So I really, really encourage people to take that time every day to focus on their breathing. And where I started this was while I was driving.
You didn't close your eyes, though.
Right? I did not close my eyes. And I have no road rage anymore.
His road rage has gotten considerably better. I don't know if you could say no, but you're getting really better. To Jared's point too, Dr. A talks about laughing. I mean, that is such a good way to lower inflammation, to release stress, and to just like not take everything so seriously. We're reading the 15 commitments. What's it called?
15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership.
It's a long name, so I always forget it. The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership right now. And it talks about not taking stuff so seriously. Like if you are so mad at someone and you're just like, oh, they're so wrong, I'm right. And so the book says, say I am wrong, or you are wrong and I am right, to your favorite nursery rhyme. So like, you are wrong and I am right, I am right, I am right. And it's like you can't even do that without laughing. You're just like, yep,
and you realize how ridiculous you are.
And I'm back in 5th grade, right? So just laughing, not taking life too seriously, and being able to laugh at yourself, laugh with others, and make situations just turn it around. And so I love that little tip that Dr. A gave about laughing. So, all right. So in case you didn't know which book we're talking about, because we talked about it a lot, here it is, Dr. A's Habits of Health. I don't know if that's backwards for everybody, but you get the idea. And if you didn't get it with your first order, then just get it with your next order that comes. And it's worth every single little. It's not that much money. It's like what, $29 or something. but it's worth it to just work on your head. You know, you can do a diet for a month, or you can take Shape for Life. And really it comes down to being part of the community and working on yourself. So thanks everybody for joining us. If you would like, you should jump on the doctor's call. I don't have that number handy because my PowerPoint died, but hop on that doctor's call. You can look up the number at tsfl.com, and hopefully you will join us next week, next Wednesday, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you guys.
Have a good week.
Thanks, everybody.